Welcome to the Herbalicious Alchemy podcast, the show where we explore the transformative powers of essential oils and their incredible ability to heal, inspire, and elevate your life. I'm Suzi, a spiritual guide, teacher, and seeker, here to help you deepen your connection with yourself, Mother Earth, and the vast energies of the universe. I'm joined each week by my wonderful co-host, Sallyanne Fisher. Sallyanne is a healer and seeker who shares my passion for blending ancient practices with modern spirituality. Together, we'll guide you through the magical and healing properties of essential oils, uncovering how they can support your personal and spiritual growth, emotional well-being, and connection to the sacred. We'll weave these natural gifts into spiritual practices like tarot, the Akashic Records, and the cycles of the moon, helping you align with your higher self and live a life of intention and purpose. In today's fast-paced and often disconnected world, it's more important than ever to ground ourselves in the nurturing power of the earth and embrace the wisdom of the cosmos. This podcast is your sacred space to explore, learn, and transform. One drop of oil, one card, and one lunar phase at a time. Welcome to the Herbalicious Alchemy podcast, the show where we explore the transformative power of essential oils, tarot, and the Akashic Records, and align with the sacred rhythms of the moon. I'm Suzi, your guide on this journey of self-discovery and spiritual growth, and I'm excited to share this space with you. Each week, we'll uncover how these tools help you heal, grow, and live with greater authenticity and purpose. Today, we have a really powerful episode focused on removing the masks that we hide behind, embracing our inner light, and stepping into our authentic selves. We'll dive into a message from the Akashic Records, explore the energy of the Two of Cups tarot card, and introduce the spiritual and emotional benefits of Bergamot Essential Oil, a beautiful ally for amplifying self-confidence and intuition. As always, I'm joined by my wonderful co-host, Sallyanne Fisher. Sallyanne is a healer, a seeker, and a spiritual guide who brings her deep wisdom and personal experience to our conversations. Sallyanne, welcome.
Welcome, Susie. I'm so excited for this episode because bergamot is one of my favorite oils. I'm going to really enjoy talking about that and how it weaves together with the rest of the theme.
Absolutely. For me, bergamot is definitely an amazing oil. I'm going to start today with the Akashic Wisdom reading, as each week I go into the Akashic Records to discover what we need to know collectively this week. I then ask for a tarot card to come up, and the tarot we will discuss in a little while, and the oil naturally comes from that. And this week, this trio is so powerful. So, as I entered the Akashic Records, I felt a real need for really stepping into our power, but in a really authentic way. I was shown that we need to remove the masks that we're hiding behind that are keeping us stuck as maybe different archetypes, different energies, and they're stopping us from moving forwards. So, if I was to ask you honestly, how would you identify yourself? Would you identify yourself as a mother, a seeker, a worker, an entrepreneur? All of these roles that we take on in our lives can stop us from really stepping into our authenticity, into stepping into our real selves. So we hide behind the masks of being a mother, for example, or maybe in Sallyanne's case, being in the military. And we are multifaceted, we are multidimensional. So just being one thing is limiting us. So I was shown that it's time to take off those masks. It's time to step out into our authentic selves. It's time to create something new. As we take off these masks, obviously there's going to be some work to do. Some fear's going to come up. Some self-judgment may come up. Some lack of self-confidence may come up. And we're going to guide you through this particular episode to really help you to take off those masks, those roles that you have taken on in your life, and help you to become really multifaceted and multidimensional. You're not just one thing, you're a collection of so many different things. And the guides were really asking you to focus in on that this week. Because if you're looking for success and we all want to be successful, right? So if you want to be successful in your life, you have to be authentic. It's when we step into our authenticity that we start to attract the right people, the right situations, the right events and circumstances in our lives. And that is why it is so important. We are going to have to become vulnerable in order to do this. And the oil of bergamot will really help you to do that. So the records were really reminding me this week that authenticity is key to unlocking our true soul's potential. And it's when we let go of these false identities, we align with our higher purpose, we align with more clarity, connection, joy, and ease in our lives. So the time has come to embrace vulnerability, show our true selves, and let our inner light shine. So I'm going to hand over to Sallyanne. So, Sallyanne, have you ever experienced a time when removing a mask or stepping into your authenticity led to a major breakthrough in your life?
Yeah, hi Susie. First of all, your wisdom and your knowledge and your ability to read, I just found that really beautiful. I really
Oh, thank
enjoyed what
you.
you just said, and it's so important, this mask. And I really feel it because we know I was in the military for 23 years, and a lot of my friends are military or surrounded by the military. And then I left the military 5 years ago to follow my husband and support him. And I sort of have changed a lot, I've evolved a lot in that time. And I think a big fear was that I was changing and I was trying to be the person that I was. I was trying to fit in with the friendship group and the peers that were around me in order not to lose my friendship base. I went to a festival just last summer and it was in Latvia, and there was a women's circle. It was a 3 hour women's circle with movement and dancing, and these ladies were dancing beautifully and they were letting themselves go, and there was all sorts of like howling and like, and I was like really self-conscious. I was like, oh, like nobody knew me. Most of them were Latvians or from around the world. So I was in the tent with 300 women and I felt self-conscious. I felt judged. And it was all my own self-talk. Nobody in that room, we were supposed to have our eyes closed, and I kind of opened my eyes and looked around. No one was looking at anybody. No one was in that room with anybody but themselves. And I was like, what am I doing? This is such a beautiful opportunity. So I really tried to focus. I really tried to let go. And after 2.5 hours, suddenly I released. Suddenly I let go. And I started swaying and moving. The rest of the room just disappeared. I was just listening to the music, and I let myself go. I listened to myself making all these sorts of noises, and tears streamed down my eyes. I felt this incredible release, this incredible feeling of euphoria, and something was being released. And I realized that I didn't need to be what everybody else thought of me. I don't need to worry about coming back to the UK and finding my friends, and I've completely changed because I can be my authentic self, and my new tribe will find me, and my new friendship groups will either follow me, maybe they've moved on as well, but my authentic self needed to come out, and that was the realization. The mask is gone, and I just need to shine my light, Susie.
Oh my goodness, what a story. What a story. And having that realization that you are good enough exactly as you are is so powerful
Mhm.
because it's when you're in that acceptance, right, that you attract the right people, the right situations, the right circumstances to you, right? So what an incredible story.
Mhm. Thank you.
So following on that story, The Two of Cups is the tarot card that came through. Okay, so I shuffled the deck and just asked what card needs to go with this message from the Akashic Records, and it was the Two of Cups that came out. Now, the Two of Cups is connected to our emotions. Cups are an emotional card. And the Two of Cups really talks about relationships. Now, the most important relationship that we have in our lives is with ourselves, right? So, yes, the tarot does talk about relationships with others, and that is relevant, but it's when we connect to our relationship with ourselves that we can really step into our power, that we can be truly authentic, that we can start to take those masks off and step into our confidence, our power, our self-worth, instead of with the masks, we may be having a lack of confidence, self doubt, lack of worthiness, and all of those things. So, the Two of Cups really asks us to look at our relationship with ourself, right? True self love begins with acceptance, right? Honoring our light and honoring our shadow as well, right? None of us are perfect, right? Um, but we have to accept ourselves as we are. So, by building a harmonious relationship with yourself, you'll start to build harmonious relationships with each other. When you love, honor, and respect yourself, that is exactly what you're putting out to the universe. And that's exactly what you are going to attract back by the law of attraction. What we put out there is what we receive back. Okay. So if you've had relationships that have been narcissistic or difficult and you keep experiencing the same things over and over and over again, it's because your self-respect or the way you treat yourself, your self-love is not perhaps where it should be, and it's attracting lower energy, right? So your energy around yourself is low, so you're attracting that energy. When we love ourselves completely, when we love, honor, respect, we treat ourselves well, then they're the relationships that come in for us that are going to treat us like goddesses, that are going to honor us, be loyal, be faithful, and all of those things. So it all starts with us. And the Two of Cups is a really, really important reminder that we are the most important person in our lives. Okay. And when we nurture our relationship with ourselves, we create that foundation for authentic and meaningful connections with others. Okay, so this is an invitation to look inwards. How are you showing up for yourself? Are you honoring yourself? Are you offering yourself the same compassion and understanding that you give to others? So, Sallyanne, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the Two of Cups. How do you see this energy showing up for you?
So I think you've hit the nail on the head, Suzi. So the thing that I really feel with the Two of Cups and the self-love, it's so important that we fill our own cups first, that we really honor ourselves so that we've got something to give. If we don't look after ourselves and we don't give ourselves self-love, we don't help with our energy and our vibration, we've got nothing to give. So for me, the quality of our relationships with others, the quality of our relationship with ourselves really is the pinnacle of our success. Success is bred from how we feel about ourselves and how we think we feel, or how our partners might feel about us. And that all comes down to self-assurance, self-confidence. I am lovable, I am good enough.
Oh, I love that you added a few affirmations there. We're going to have some more affirmations for you at the end. So, this seems like a really, really good time to bring in the energy of bergamot. Okay, so let's talk about the essential oil of the week. So this week is bergamot, and it's a citrus oil with powerful spiritual benefits and a myriad of other benefits as well. Bergamot is often called the oil of radiance because it amplifies your inner light, helping you to step confidently into your truth. So I'm going to share a few key spiritual benefits, and then I'm going to pass over to Sallyanne for some emotional benefits. So bergamot amplifies our inner light. So that means bergamot helps you connect with your authentic self, encouraging self-expression and joy. I personally use bergamot when I'm doing lives, when I'm advertising something, when I'm writing something, when I want attention, so maybe visibility. I want to shine my inner light to help people in the best possible way that I can. I will use bergamot. And the smell is just absolutely incredible. It really helps to enhance your self confidence. It clears self doubt and fear, and it empowers you to embrace your uniqueness and trust your innate gifts. It supports intuition and the Akashic Records. I personally use Bergamot to open the Akashic Records to gain access to the collective information that needs to be downloaded in order to help us all grow, expand, and live with freedom and abundance. It opens the heart chakra. And personally, I connect through the heart to the Akashic Records. So it opens the heart to being able to receive divine information that needs to be shared. It also enhances our intuitive guidance as well. This oil is especially powerful for those working on authenticity as it helps release negative self-talk and aligns you with your higher self. So, Sallyanne, I believe you have an amazing story to share with us that will show people how bergamot can help both physically and emotionally in your day-to-day life.
Yeah, thank you, Susie. So, yes, I do have an incredible story. It was very personal to me because it involved my son. And it was just at the beginning of lockdown, and we noticed my son started to get some quite violent tics, and he wasn't really aware of them, but they were quite alarming. We could hear the liquid in his stomach slushing around when he was doing these big violent tics. And he started to become agitated and he started to become naughty on purpose. He would steal sweets from the house and leave them lying around where we'd find them, and he'd do things naughty on purpose. And I spoke to a psychologist who was a friend of the family, and she said, yeah, this could actually be going down the route of Tourette's. You've got to discover what the emotional connection is. And I was like, oh, why didn't I think that it was an emotional connection? So I looked up, I sat my son down and I asked him, just tell me how you're feeling. What is it? What is the problem? And he came up with some very powerful statements. He said, was he good enough? Was he lovable? Why did we love him? Was he born naughty? All these terrible things that a parent doesn't want to hear. And come from a loving family, where would he get these feelings? And so he basically had low self-esteem. So I looked up in an emotions wheel to look to see what the insecurity and self-judgment was, and it told me the oil of bergamot. And I was like, I don't know enough about bergamot. So I looked up in an emotions book the oil of bergamot, and it says the oil, it's the oil of self-acceptance and the oil of authenticity. And it says that bergamot relieves feelings of despair, self-judgment, low self-esteem, supports individuals in need of self-acceptance and self-love, and bergamot invites individuals to see life with more optimism. And I was like, oh my goodness, Susie, these were exactly the words that Headley had been describing. So we started to use whenever he was having a little meltdown, or he's very agitated, or very upset about something, or he's doing lots of sort of tics. We would put the oil on me and I'd put it on my clothes and I'd give him a cuddle to allow him to breathe it. And we'd explain to him what bergamot was. And it was incredible, Susie. All the tics died down and disappeared. All his agitation went away. He became a very calm, very confident little boy. And to this day, and this was like 4 years ago, and to this day, he carries a bergamot in his school bag in case he needs it. I usually have one in my handbag in case. He's not requested it for a couple of years, but it's just habit now. I love bergamot. I use it, Susie, when I'm going somewhere and I'm feeling a bit self-conscious or a little bit like I need a bit of confidence. I will just give myself that. So this oil was absolutely incredible for him.
That's an amazing story, Sallyanne, and so pleased to hear that Headley is now confident, self-assured, and moving forwards through life. Bergamot is such an amazing oil, and when you combine it with the information and the wisdom from the tarot and the Akashic records, you can create a really powerful journey to help you to really step into your authenticity, to step into your self-confidence, your self-assurance, and your own self-love story. And as we said at the beginning, when we step into our self-confidence and our authenticity, life becomes incredibly amazing. And we start to attract the right things, the right people, circumstances, situations, events, and all of the things towards us. So, how would you suggest that people incorporate using bergamot into their daily practices?
Okay, so bergamot is really easy. Most of the benefit we get is from breathing the oil, so through our nose, so we're smelling it. So you can put a drop in your hand and you can simply cup your hands over your nose and breathe in. And I recommend you breathe it 5 times. So you can also put it in a diffuser. So in the morning, you might want to put a couple of drops of bergamot in your cold water diffuser. And then that's going to give you feelings of positivity and energy. At midday, you might put a drop of hand on your palm and breathe it in just to give you a lift. If you're planning to do some journaling, Suzi, or some meditation, then I would definitely diffuse it. I might even apply it to the wrists. And then you're going to reflect. You can ask yourself the question, what does authenticity mean to me? And you can journal about any feelings of inadequacy whilst being uplifted and supported in that journey of journaling with the oil. A little safety note for bergamot, just like all the citrus oils, bergamot has a phototoxicity. So what we need to remember is that we're not going to put it on our skin and then go out and sunbathe, because bergamot or all the citrus oils bind with the heat receptors in the skin, and then the sunlight makes them vibrate, and that gives us a skin sensitivity or a burn. So we're not gonna do that. I tend to put it on
Yeah.
my clothes so I can smell it. Sometimes I'll just rub it in my hair so that as I move my hair, I get that lovely smell. Okay, and you can always put it on your hands. They're not very sensitive, and you never really sunbathe like that anyway, Suzi. So if I'm leaving the home, I'll often use it. It's always in my handbag in case I need it. And in the evening, if you want to add it to lavender, then that's going to help you feel nice and calm and promote sleep as well. So I encourage everybody to bring the power of bergamot into their lives and to use it. And we do have
Yeah.
some affirmations, Susie, that we can use, not specifically for bergamot, but specifically for this podcast with
Yes.
the Two of Cups, the authenticity, and the bergamot.
Yeah, absolutely. And also with the Akashic Records as well. So I'm going to start with one. So I am radiant.
I love that, Susie. I am enough just as I am.
Fantastic. We are going to list some more affirmations on our social media platforms. So do come and follow us. So when we combine the Akashic Records, the tarot, and an oil into one tool so that they create harmony, we have the Akashic Records that guide us to release old patterns and masks. The Two of Cups has encouraged us to nurture self-love and inner balance. And Bergamo amplifies our light, enhancing our confidence and deepens our intuitive connection. Together, they create a powerful trio for stepping into your true self and living a life of alignment and purpose. Anything you'd like to add, Sallyanne?
I think, Susie, this has been fantastic. I just say that bergamot is really the perfect oil that brings all of this together and supports us on that journey. And I've really enjoyed this podcast with you today, Susie.
All right, it's been amazing, absolutely amazing. So, thank you for joining us on this sacred journey of stepping into your authentic self. Remember, your inner light is your greatest gift, and when you live as your truest self, you inspire others to do the same. Next week, we'll explore another powerful message from the Akashic Records, dive into a new tarot card, and introduce another essential oil to support your spiritual growth. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share this podcast so you don't miss an episode. We're here to guide you one drop of oil, one card, and one moon phase at a time. Until next time, take a deep breath, find your center, and remember, you are deeply connected to the magic of the earth and the cosmos.